Hey everyone, welcome back to Adventures with Edna. I'm Chris, and I'm currently home by myself. In this adventure, our project is going to be doing some major repairs to Edna's bed, things that have needed to be done for a long time. Since I've owned Edna over the last 6 years, there's been some issues with the bed where the tailgate is really hard to open and close because the bed sides kind of tend to go outward. So it puts a lot of stress on the chains to the point that they're actually eating into the mounting spots. So if you're not used to opening and closing Edna's bed, I've noticed a lot of people struggle with it over the years trying to figure it out on their own. But we're going to get all that fixed. We're going to do some metal repair, some rust repair, some straightening. And if you saw our video, I think it's been about a month ago since we did a little short on some of it. There's a bed cap repair that we need to do. There is some rusted out holes that need to be replaced. There's a lot of straightening, and you're going to get to see all of that in this video. And I hope it helps some of you guys out there, because this bed, I believe, ran from 1950 roughly to 1972. Just the main part of the bed. So I'm sure I'm not the only one who's ever had this problem. So this is something that's happened over the last 75 years of Edna's life. And we're going to get all that fixed right here. So you're definitely going to want to watch this all the way to the end. I didn't do a good job of recording this bed cap repair because I was not thinking about the camera at the time. We got this already lined up off camera and kind of clamped into place and ready to start welding. The crack itself has actually always been an issue because if I put a ratchet strap back there, it has a tendency to pop off because the whole cap will bend up or down. I had another time where I had a bunch of dirt in the back of the bed and I sat down to rest on this corner and the whole thing buckled under and I almost rolled out of the back of the truck, which would have been a lot of fun, I'm sure. Now Doug's getting ready to weld up this crack here. We actually had to do quite a bit of straightening because the whole stake pocket was no longer actually attached to the bed cap itself. So all of this was loose. None of it was lined up at all. There was a huge crack where he's welding now. And that crack, we took the Dremel cutting wheel and we cut it out to give a little bit of gap so we could get a nice, better weld. All of the spot welds on there had broken as well. So this whole corner has just always been really, really flimsy. It's much better.
Son of
Now, I don't know what happened to this bed pocket, but you can see that it is just beat up. And it's been like that for as long as I've owned it, but it just looks terrible. So that's something that's actually going to be coming in this video, or later in the video, where we get that all nice and straight again. And you'll see how that happens. Right now, we're just getting the flange part welded back onto the bed cap so that everything's good and solid there. We actually used, I think it was called a rotobroach, which was like a drill bit for drilling out spot welds, and we drilled out the originals, and then we're basically plug welding all this back into place. So this is all going to be nice and sturdy when we're done.
Okay. It's a little big, but that'll do what we want to do. All right, now I need a center punch. Helps to have a ground.
I got stupid there for a minute because I was sitting there watching the welding on the camera screen, and then all of a sudden I just looked above the camera and just sitting there steady watching you weld, and all of a sudden I was like, oh man, I can't see. All right, so hindsight being 2020, after we put all the effort into getting this straight and fixed, which has been awesome, by the way, we realized how this whole section here is just beat to death. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to cut this out here all the way down to here and go from there. If that makes sense. So this is the point of no return.
Start maybe 3 inches from the bottom and go down so it's fully cut, and then start at the top and do the same thing.
Okay.
If that thing blows up and gets you, I'll call if you'll tell me the number for 911.
Well, I'm pretty sure I wasn't drinking before I started making that cut.
Or is it crooked?
Oh man, it's so bad. It's so bad. Don't look at it.
All right, do this.
I started on the line and ended on the corner.
Oh, that's tolerable down there. The rest of it needs to be straight. Use the handle to kind of hold you against that post. Put your hand on the handle and use your fingers to pull you back and forth, keep you square.
You mean here?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Don't go too high. Well, we'll take a sawzall blade and cut it the last little bit. Hey, don't try to cut all the way through. Put it against it and make you go. Just follow the line and make a mark.
Okay.
All the way down. Not all the way down, but 4 or 5 inches down, and it'll follow that a lot easier than it'll follow that other one. Easier that way with your fingers on the post?
Yeah. All the way.
All right. Cut the top post. As a matter of fact, before you cut the top, while it's still structural, cut that weld that's on the edge right there. See that weld that's up.
Where are you looking?
On the edge where the tailgate hits. Yep.
Right
See the little tiny bit of,
yeah.
It's only about that long.
I think this one's broken already.
Yeah, that one's completely broken. The second one's already cracked. But you're going to have to cut, look at it. You're going to have to cut like this just to remove the weld, but don't cut the post panel.
Okay.
You want to cut right along the edge of the post panel, and not into the bed panel.
Okay.
Just
I see what you're saying.
Make a pass, and then study it and see how close you are.
Okay.
It may be able to take a putty knife and slip in there and break the weld if you get it just most of the way cut. You don't have to cut it all the way.
Yeah. I see it cracking. There's a crack road from here up to here now. Might need a little more on that one. Don't want to mess up the knife.
Hit it.
It's not if you don't get a hit. It's not if you don't get a good a good hit on it, it just flexes off to one side. Just a total waste of the hit.
That sounds like it needs a hair of a grind there.
Yeah.
That sounded good and loose down there.
Yeah.
Still need a little.
Yeah, there's
bit
a
there.
hair right there, about a 1/4 inch. I guess I got to take more and then.
Just a hair on both of them.
All right.
Better to do it 2 or 3 times than to go too far and then now you got a mess to fix.
Yeah.
Hey, don't be beating up my hammer hand. My hammer with a bigger head so you don't miss.
Yeah, I know. Well, it looks like it's about to crack through, but it's still.
How you do that? All the way down.
There's a spot weld still here.
You take that same tool that we were using the other day, that rotor broach, and drill that if you want to. That's the correct. That's what that rotor broach is for. Is you need a center punch, and put a little punch right dead center. I would take it and cut this way, Chris. Just cut right on like that. Yeah, from that position you're in there. That way the sparks will throw away from you and find your corner.
I see it, it's right here. I hit as far as I can cut because it hit here.
What do you mean it hit there?
Like I bumped this bumped up here. Couldn't turn it any further.
Turn around and turn it over. The last little corners you have to cut with a saw.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah, it's just this little bit in here for that part that isn't clean.
What you do?
I don't know, boss. I wonder what that once did. There's that. We got some mulch in here.
That's from somebody getting trashed in the hole or having a piece of wood in there to make a bedside.
What is that? Well, that used to be one of the compression deals you were talking about.
Yeah. See how this is done pulled in and covered that
It
up.
looks awful.
Not so bad. You did a good job with that. I'm very happy how you did that. That turned out good. And this will grind that little bit of titty off of there, and we'll grind this little lip that's on the back and make it flat. It'll all go back together just as pretty.
Looks awful right there.
Because it is.
That ain't seen the light of day in 75 years. It's funny, they tacked this back on here, here, and here, but it's all in the wrong place. It's not straight.
What do you mean it's not straight?
Like, look, it curves down that way, and then
Well,
over
they just
here.
tacked it back on.
Yeah.
It was already all bent up. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't. It's not in the right place.
It needs to come around quite a bit. Cut that flange off of there.
Yeah, it's just a flat piece. It's just a lot of small
What's it
welds.
going to take to get that piece out of there? That's the next question. Because it shouldn't be welded in there.
No, it's not supposed to be there at all. I don't even know why it's there.
I'm talking about this whole piece. See, that's not welded.
Apparently, I didn't record it, but we got this whole bottom panel off right here. We drilled out all the spot welds on the other end and got it unbolted from the frame. So that's all ready to be worked on now. Comparing the original one to a new one. Unfortunately, this new one is not mine. There, look, I don't know why. Oh, there's a few differences. The new one's just a flat piece in here, but this one's got these little notches. And it's, instead of welded on, it's riveted on. You see all these holes, they're a little bigger than they need to be. And then somebody welded in this piece of flat bar. That's gotta go, it's ugly. This flat bar was put in sometime before I got it because it still had the original bedwood, and they had put this steel bar in here so that they could put a steel plate over the top of all the bedwood, and then they welded to that. So this has always been in there making things look ugly. Is it a bad weld or is it the age?
No, it's only welded on one side.
Oh.
No penetration.
Well, at least that works to our benefit.
Yep. That's why I'm doing it.
Now this part of the bed actually goes underneath the tailgate, and you can kind of see it behind the bumper, and it was just bent it like an S, and it was all twisted, so we did the best we could to get all the dents and get it all straightened out. Not all of it I showed on camera, but Doug's actually got a piece of steel in his vise there that he's using to kind of bend stuff back straight. And then we also went back through and we welded up all the random holes that were drilled all the way through it, just so it'd be a nice flat piece again. And in the end, it actually comes out looking pretty good. A little better than the screwdriver, I guess.
It's got grips on them.
This is the part of the stake pocket that we cut off camera, and we're basically hammering out all of the dents here on the anvil, trying to get it straightened out. And I didn't record it, but we ended up having to use the shrinker part of the stretcher to shrink the metal up a little bit, because there was a massive dent in here, and when we got it flattened out, it was sticking way out. So we did a really nice job of getting this straightened out, and I also didn't film us putting it on the metal brake to make the curve, or not the curve, but the angle back like it was supposed to be originally, and get that all nice and straight again too. Right here we had to drill out a ton of spot welds to get that lower piece out, and you can see it's cracked and it's got a huge hole rusted in it. So we're trying to get this straightened out and ground down a little bit so we can work on that. And then right here we are welding up all of the holes that were randomly drilled throughout that lower piece, and then we're going to grind those down and make them nice and flush.
weld.
Now I'm just grinding down all of the welds that filled in all these random holes that are in here for no particular reason. If you look here, you can see that I am holding a 2x4 up against the lower panel and hitting it with a hammer to knock it back in place, while Doug is holding a heavy metal block to absorb the hitting without pushing away at the sheet metal.
All right, bring your block of wood. It's got to go up. See how those holes don't quite line up? It's got to go up. Come on.
Too high.
No. No, I think once you get that, see that end done fell off.
Oh.
Once you get that back up in place, perfect.
You can use the screwdriver. I was about to ask if you wanted to put a bolt through it. Your hand is not a hammer.
Perfect. Now we need to get it bolted to the frame. We need to get the frame bolts in, the rubber spacers in, get it all put back together correct on the frame. If you go get another one of these, you can put it through that side, through the one existing bolt. That'll get the right height. People don't realize how much of a line-up tool a number 3 screwdriver is. And it's not a hammer. Is that a number 3 or number 4?
I think it's bigger.
You see it? That's a 4.
Gotta go up a little bit because I can't slide the pad in.
All right.
Like a space.
Where's the 2 before? Is it over there on the chair?
There you go.
Put the other one in too, because I got the whole side kicked up.
This one looks like it's not even close.
It's out. It needs to go towards the front. There you go. It's pulling it back by the way I'm prying. So you need to push in and put your pieces in. Push forward.
The bolt's not dropping through. It's on kind of an angle. There you go. That worked. Do that one more time. There it is. Now it's in.
Screwdriver's falling out. I don't think it's relevant no more. We got what we got. Now you're cooking. I think the smartest thing too is to take this vice grip, or take a vice grip and clamp right there on that side.
Can I have this?
What, you want that? You want
Same problem.
Want the bowl? It's not, there you go, right there. Pry down.
Down?
Right, or you want it to go forward?
I want to go back some, like that way. The hole's way off. I can't see what I'm doing. I'm trying to hold myself up too. I'm doing the balancing act. Leave it right there. Washer on.
I can push it again. You need me to push it?
Yeah, you might have to.
Oh.
It's like on an angle and I can't, it's not far enough for
I
me to
just
put
can't get good help.
It's funny, I have just enough space to sit here, but I feel like I want a backrest.
Yeah, I see you need a back.
I feel very awkward, like I'm putting in some stomach muscle work.
You're not 100% upright. That's what the problem is. You're only about 85% upright.
Amateur hour over here. Oh, this is going to be so much more solid. You know, once it's welded up. I wonder if it's going to sound a lot different when it goes over that horrible bump on my road, where it usually makes it sound like the truck's about to fall apart.
Pretty damn close.
I wonder what that'll look like.
That'll be funny. That'll make a good clip. Oops. All right, that'll clamp together and we can spot weld that. Sweet. I think we need to take that smaller spot weld cutter and put us a hole right here so we can clamp that in tight, close this gap, and get a good weld there instead of putting a weld out here where it's ugly and doesn't look right. And this should all just pull together. See, there you go. Looks like we need to split that. Take the cutoff wheel and release that. It looks like it's doing this, puckered up tight now.
Oh.
Okay, I think all that'll close up nicely now. All right, let's get a tape measure. Let's measure from here to there, and then we'll measure the top, see how much we need to wiggle wobble. Give me the dumb end.
Outside or inside?
Outside. How many scratches? 49, and how many scratches?
6. $50.25.
Really? All right. It's got to go way over. All right, I need one of them F clamps. I want a small one. There's some.
You said F clamp?
Yeah, the ones that are hanging on the side of that slide up and down.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Cement truck after cement truck after cement truck. All right, I'm gonna get that held all the way in. Now we need a ratchet strap to hook here, hook there, pull them together. Now I'll let you ratchet it. Put it right on that lip. Pull it to you. I think you're good. That's pretty damn good. Measure on it.
$49 16.
Okay.
$49 5/16.
Well, it's probably got that column pulled this way.
It does.
Check the square on it. That's probably what you're fighting. And that measurement.
Yeah. It's much closer to the top than it is at the bottom. Okay. So what do? Do you tack this one where it's at?
This one in place because it's straight.
Okay. Right. And I could...
1 degree. Go away. I touched it. It went to 0. There you go. Column is straight. Column is straight. We just got to pull this out and tack and weld it, spot weld it in place. So this will be good.
Okay.
0 on that. Give me the hood and let's get to it. How much it changes. Okay.
That'll make you feel good. Best it's been in 40 years.
Best it's been in a while, that's for sure. Best it's been since you bought it.
You want to see if it's still 0 since you took the clamp off and it wasn't actually tacked to here yet? Did it move?
I'm relying on that being a solid fixture. Which other? Good point.
I figured it'd just be on the safe side. Oh, you were just messing with me. I was like, dang.
I would put a little pressure on it. It's showing bounce between 1 and 0. I'd put a little pressure back on. About those 2 lines, it's dead on.
It looks straight up and down just from standing behind the truck.
It's a hair, just a hair off that line when it touches this line. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not enough to make a measurement.
Oh, it's never been that solid. It's never been that solid.
All right, now we need a little patch panel. Now you see where I'm at? You see where we're at? We got this back in where it's going to stay. We got this where it's going to stay. Now all we got to do is build that. Turn me on. Wow. Yep. Perfect. See if I can gently walk around this thing. It had just enough of a split right on that corner that I just figured the best thing to do, let's go around the corner and get away from that split.
That all the way around?
That's all I can do. Now it's grind.
There's going to be some extra noise right here in this part. We are getting this piece lined up now that we've got it all straightened out, but the camera is sitting right beside the welder, which is turned on, so it's picking up the noise of the welder fan. I'm just trying to rest my thumb so it doesn't move out, but I feel like it's making me fight. basically trying to get this seam perfectly lined up before we do any more welding as we go down. So after all that lineup work, we actually forgot that we didn't put this sleeve in here. We put all these reinforcing sleeves where the bolts go through for both the tailgate and the chain, so it doesn't crush this pocket like it was before. But this is the only one that we got on camera, I think.
Push this through just a quarter turn. A little more than that. A little more. Good. That's a hair loose. Hey. Yeah. The arm hurt, muscle hurt. The cramp. Didn't do right.
And then start working your way down as far as like alignment.
I don't know yet. I'm still trying to contemplate that. This is, I need one or two more of these, at least one. Push it that far and hold it right there. Let it come back.
Since all this is kind of non-conventional, and we're doing as much to save old beat-up panels as much as possible, would you say this is kind of helping improve your craft?
No, because I done been here a million times. This is the same you run into when you're putting a new panel to an old panel.
Oh, okay.
It's not dissimilar.
So we're basically just making this gap smaller as we go up. And then you're tacking it in places it goes along.
Because this has still got a little forward flare to it. See, people think you gotta flail on Bodywork to move it, but you don't. It moves easier than you think. Now what I would do if I was welding right here and that's tight like that, I'd put a dolly behind it. I'd absolutely knock the flying piss out of that weld. And by flattening that weld,
it spreads it.
It pushes the pieces apart. Another one down my shoe. Start charging you for socks. I'm very tickled with what I see.
Right here we're using the rotor broach to drill new holes in so we can plug weld all of these holes up so it's nice and flush to the bedside again.
Watch the backside. Is it blowing?
Yes.
Centered is better. Look at it.
All right, we're now getting this part straight by putting the ratchet strap back on and pulling it so that it forms a 90 with the bottom. But I unfortunately wasn't thinking about the camera, so it's just sitting here filming where you really can't see what we're doing. So I think we're about to have to skip ahead a little bit.
What I'm saying is you need...
Now we're just repeating the plug welds on this side that we just did to the other side to make the stake pocket welded directly to the bedside. Now this is the part that you couldn't see on the other side because the camera wasn't pointed in the right place. But we're basically taking this piece of square tubing and bolting it to the back side of the bed, or not bolting, but clamping it to the back side of the bed to hold the stake pocket flush to that before we weld up the back side, which I guess technically is the front side.
We put the welding. All right, my job's done. Mr. Grinder Man.
This is where Edna decided she wasn't ready to go home yet, but that's another story. And this is my fresh new steering wheel crack that shrank in the cold. Alright, we're back home now. All of the fab work is done. So let's sum up what we did and what we have left. So we started out with getting all of this fixed over here. So that's all nicely solid now. It's not going to fall or fold over. We cut this whole side out. We straightened that out as best we could. We straightened this out as best we could, and this side. And then we got it all nicely plug welded back in place. This is all straight, and something we did that's kind of off camera that nobody really got to see was all of these holes are reinforced now, so they will not crush when you tighten the hinges down on here. They all have a nice little sleeve in there, just like that one. And we also did it up here too, so these all have nice little sleeves in here. So that's all good and solid. Something Ford probably should have done it from the beginning. All of this is nicely tacked back together. This piece is all nice and straight now. It no longer looks like an S. We plug welded all of the holes that had been drilled in here over the years. No telling what any of them were for besides the 2 license plate holes. But that's all nice and handled. This is all plug welded to here, so all that's good and solid now. Same thing over here. The hole that used to be here, we cut all that out and welded in a new piece right here, so that's all good. Did the same thing over here with plug welding that on both sides. Another tube in there. So all that's good and strong, and the important thing is the sides have a nice 90-degree angle, like they should have, instead of being bent outward like they were, and they are solid, which was the main thing, because these sides were so floppy before. So now all we have left is we have to prime and paint everything, and then just reassemble. Yeah, you can see where we ground it, and then, but this is all POR 15 up here. I guess maybe I need to try to blend a little bit so it's not just like a line.
It stinks.
Yeah, it smells weird, doesn't it?
It smells like old lipstick.
I don't feel like that's doing much at all, is it?
A little bit.
A little bit, you said?
Mm-hmm.
So keep doing it.
You're good.
I think I made the can mad. Looks a little thin right there, but I'm gonna give it a minute to dry. All right, let me know if you see any brown, and I'll hit it. Yeah, like if you see any primer anywhere that I missed.
Okay, it doesn't look brown that way. I said it doesn't.
Oh, is that what you were looking at?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it was the sun reflecting off that.
Oh.
There's a bunch of brown right here.
What, right here?
Are you? I don't know if you're spraying that.
So, I mean, that's just black. See, all that's kind of like a rubberized undercoating that's on there because of the wood. I put that on there when I did the bed wood. I just don't want to see any bleed through areas. Like, yeah, it looked like there was 2 lines there after the first coat.
Yeah. I figured you want to leave that little bit because it matches over here.
I didn't see it, but if you think it looks good.
And it's not jumping out, it's just like it's there. It literally looks like you just cut a hole right there.
I don't know where that came from.
I figured y'all did that.
No, we didn't do that. I don't know what it is. It's so sturdy. Look, the whole truck moves instead of just the side. All right, go get some clear. I'm sure some of you have been cringing through this whole section knowing that I've got so much overspray on the tailpipes and on the bumper mounts. But luckily, and you'll see this later, on the tomorrow part of the video, you'll see that they are nicely repainted and the tailpipes and silver parts are all nice and clean. So don't worry, guys. Nothing to see here. I like doing this now. It shows the bed side is nice and solid because it moves the whole truck instead of just the bed side now. Strength. All right, so it's the next day now. Hopefully all of our paint has had plenty of time to dry. We are Going to start with all the reassembly, getting the tailgate, the tail lights, and everything all back on, put the bumper back on, and then bring this project to a close. Now, here's something I'm excited about. I purchased this 5 years ago. I wonder if there's a date on the label, on the shipping label here. Maybe? No date that I see. But I purchased this a little over 5 years ago, back when we first redid the bedwood, which unfortunately needs to be done again, and have never been able to put it on. That being because part of the way that the bed was being held on before was, before I redid the bedwood, one of the previous owners had welded in a flat strip all the way across here and then put a steel plate over here and then welded to that. So that's always been here. So that kept me from putting this little decorative strip, which still has the plastic covering on it, on here. Which apparently, I don't know if that goes under. Does that go over? I don't know how this goes on. But that's supposed to go there. And it's never been on there before. So this is going to be a first for us. Take our protective strip off. It doesn't seem as nicely polished as I thought it was going to be. It's polished, just not super nice. Clean these holes out a little bit. Guess that one's fine. Right. Oh, that's not 7/16 like I thought. I actually caught the nut. Or caught the bolt. That's surprising. I expected that to be much more of a hassle. I think Doug was saying something about going back with nylon washers. But I'm going to have to get more bolts anyway because I don't have enough of these left to put them in. All the way, at least. Maybe take a little bit of that paper out. I might have a little too much. and give myself just enough lip to help balance that. Stay on there, you. Lost the washer. Where'd it go? That's pretty cool. I've never had that on there before. Sitting up high in the middle. Still sitting up high in the middle. It's like that just perfectly lines up like with the hole, like it's supposed to be there. Quite interesting. What'd you say?
I said, do you want to go with me? Because Henley's hungry and wants to come home. So I brought her home after church.
Yeah, I can do that.
Spray Lysol everywhere. That looks good.
Considering that thing had that decorative strip on there, you'd think it'd be a little more polished. Like it should match these.
Just because the gutters aren't flat.
Well, these, yeah, I mean, there's, like that one's up too high, and this one's not bolted down. And I don't know where.
Did it bend it when you put it down?
Yeah, I had to put the clamps on here to get it to even go down.
Mm.
I had to drill this hole and this hole because they didn't exist before, because I never had to drill them before.
Yeah.
But it's on there now.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, you can barely see that.
Yeah.
Is the wood expanding? Is that why it did that?
There's a bend right there. Remember those boards were all poked up?
I just figured it was expanding, and plus this hole doesn't exist for this. It just sits in there. So I'm assuming that's just like a...
It looks mostly straight across here. I think it just kind of curled up. Is it?
Yeah, making marks on here. You're tripping the top. Do you want to paint it on?
A what?
Something fishing to go under that?
That's what I grabbed this for.
Well, I was talking about go over that.
It's wood. It's non-invasive this way. Look any better? Looks like it just kind of curls up a little bit from where it hits the wood.
It went down a little bit. It's not as noticeable.
It's cool seeing that on there. I've never seen it on there before. I had to go make a bolt run because I didn't have enough to put all these back now that this is on, and I had to get some stainless bolts for the tailgate hinges, and I got some nylon washers because these have a tendency to back off.
Will it bring the thing down inside it?
I gotta swap over to a long 1/2 inch, which I forgot until just now. The problem with it leaning back is because the strips are too far that way and need to come this way, because this was bent before, but now that it's straight, it pulled away from here. So that's why they're on an angle like this, but I don't really want to go through and loosen all those to move it forward a little bit. At least not today. Ta-da! We're gonna get our wiring back in place. I had to cut this ground here, so that's got to go back on. Excellent. Don't do that yet. I gotta clip these because I'm gonna try to make it a little better than it was before. this in there a little better than it was before. This looks like such a mess now that I cut all the wire ties. I need this tail light. And suddenly turned around.
It was a bolt drop.
I think he said something along the lines of,
He wrote more than that.
oh.
You should see how I look like a little big boobs. ChatGPT. Which one do you need?
And there should be a 7/16 wrench, I think, in there.
There's a half and a 10.
Oh, the 7/16 is in the tailgate. It's in the tailgate, which is in the building on the floor. Thank you. This is where it sucks. Because I have just enough slack, and it's right over this little piece right here that it's got to go through. Will you turn on the parking lights?
Yeah.
You know, just one click out. Hey, that was good, yes. So it's this one. Because when I put it in the other one, it's brighter for the brake light. So this has to plug in. I don't know. It's just the two. As long as I pushed it together all the way, we should be good. It feels together-ish. brake light. All right, go turn off the parking lights and push the brake pedal. And then this side is done, allegedly.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, that's working. Alright, so next we'll come to the middle and we will reattach our ground wire because there's a hole here.
I think that's showing it.
Possibly. All right, now we have ground.
Feels hard to find it.
All right, we got our wires on. We're going to finish our wiring up when we put the other tail light on, which won't go on until we put the tailgate on. But next step, we got to put our chains back in, which is just a 9/16 bolt. Remember, these are all reinforced now, so we can torque it down without worrying about crushing this, which is pretty awesome. Probably should have came that way originally. All right, now we need a tailgate. All right, so this is kind of a neat little trick if you've never put one of these on before, because it takes a two-man job, or turns a two-man job into a one-man job. But you slide on to your first hinge there. See, we already got our other hinge sitting here. And you go ahead and put your chains on, like you're putting the tailgate down. And then you just pivot off the other tail, or the other hinge, and voila. Your tailgate basically stops about where it needs to stop. So I was able to do that by myself. Drop our wires through the little hole here. Bolt through. Put our other bolt through. There are nuts on the back. I swear I remember having some lock washers on here, but I don't have any lock washers laying around. They look like they went on here. Maybe I'm getting senile in my old age. All right, moment of truth to see if Edna's tailgate closes nicely down. I'll probably tell you close your hinge up in there. See, before we had to like pull this whole side in real hard and slip that on. Now, it comes right on and off. Same thing on that side. Nice and easy. Seems weird not just being stretched out, but that's how you want it. So we've got a nice even fit on both sides. Now, before we put the bumper back on, we're going to finish our wiring. Because we can't be driving around looking like that. So we'll turn our tail lights back on. I know I could have just marked which wire went to where, or I could have wrote down or taken a picture or something. That's not it. Or we're not working one. The other tail light's on. Why isn't this tail light on? Oh, that must be the brake. I feel kind of stupid now. Where's the other one at? That one should have power. All right, that one's not so bright. That one's much brighter. So that one is the tail light. So we plug that one in. I mean, we should go. Are we over this plate? Yeah, we're over this plate. We'll use our zip ties, hide our wires. There. Now the only thing hanging down is just the trailer plug, which we could just tuck up into there as well. And just like that, we were ready for a bumper. It's almost like it was so nice when this wasn't here, I could just put that right there. Now I got no tray anymore. That happens to my finger. How far off is it? Ow. Yeah, it looks kind of low on the one side. We're not on level ground, so we've got to eyeball this. Does that look straight or too high? Looks too high. I'm looking at the gap from here all the way across. How does that look to you? Does it look centered? Because I can go this way too. Looks like this is even with the edge of the tail light. How about that one?
Yeah, from the corner. You have more of it over there, because that's not the corner.
How about now? A little further?
A little bit.
Now, all we need is a license plate light, and we're all done. Then that's got to go there. That one's nice and tight. This one, we can't get a screwdriver on. So that's where you need that super stubby that Doug had. But we're done. And make sure that everything works. They're all corroded looking. They're all white, like the plug itself. Everything's got a nice, solid connection to it now. Since this actually doesn't sit in here so tight from being stretched out, I might get some rubber or something to go on there, just so it's not metal on metal and scratching everything up and rusting away. That's all nice down there now. Good fit. All across there. No more holes drilled in there. Bumper's all straight and aligned. Tailgate opens and closes nicely. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Adventures with Edna. This was definitely a much more long-form video than we normally do. This actually took place, all the recording took place over the last 2 weeks when we initially got that side done, and then the rest of it over at Doug's house. Special thanks to Doug. I really couldn't have done any of this without him. Hopefully I learned something along the way, and maybe you guys did too. And the end result is a much better fitting tailgate that will now be much more functional in the future as far as opening and closing it. I don't have to give people special instructions on what to do now. They've never opened it before. But everything's got a good fit. Don't forget, guys, adventures are out there everywhere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Also, we're on Patreon, TikTok, and Instagram now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.